Welcome to the Animal Diversity in Skulls module. This is probably the one that's going to take more time than any of the others, so I'm going to be a little lenient with your deadlines. But get started on it. Don't put it off. This one has its yeah. Um, all right. Click on the lab handout folder as usually. Click on the lab handouts, and you'll find them in here. There are a number of different things I want you to go over. So we're looking at the major phyla here, and you'll see different characteristics, different pictures, and then we're going to go for the mammalian skull identification. And traditionally, that's the thing people have the most trouble with. So for the phyla, all you need to do, so the question set, let me go scroll down there real quick. The question set for the phyla, oh, that's not it. Never mind. We'll have to go for the question set for that. The question set for the phyla you're going to turn in as a quiz, as we've had before. So there's a lecture that goes over the characteristics of animals. And then the lab part is mostly skull identification. So I'm pretty much just going to walk through with you with the skull, and that's really the hardest part. You're going to be introduced to a dichotomous key this time. And if you are struggling with what a dichotomous key is and how it works, try this tutorial that walks you through it. Most of the so if we do this in the lab, we actually see these things in relatively in person. So you'll see these under the microscope, and so watch these videos. They'll give you a little bit of an idea what you're looking at. And then for the skull identification, let me show you the keys real quick. So when you look at the keys, so the way a dichotomous key works, and I explain this to you in detail, the way a dichotomous key works is you have these, hang on, I gotta scroll down all the way to the keys. Where the heck are the keys? Oh, there. So it's basically a game of 20 questions where you say, okay, is it 1A or 1B? So either the greatest skull length is greater than 20 millimeters or it's not. If it is not, then it's a bat. And if it is, then you go to the next question too. And then you have the next couplet that you're looking at. So that's how a dichotomous key works. Many of you are struggling with that. And because of that, I've got this activity that I started for you that basically helps you walk through the skull. So if you click on one of these, you click on it, then a PowerPoint comes up that asks you to then click on things. So you go in here, you ask with this disc, click here to start, and then it asks you large brain case, smooth rounded muzzle, reduced to give an almost flat face, or does it not look like that? If you go, you click on the correct choice above. If you click on the wrong one, so this is actually the large brain case, smooth rounded muscle, but if you uh, click on the wrong one, you get to this one, and it then tells you this isn't it. So go back to the previous skull, make the other choice, and then when you get to the correct skull, it gives you the order, family, genus, species, and common name, and that's what you're going to have to then turn in the handout question set. So this is probably the easiest way to go about the dichotomous key assignment. Now, with this assignment, you also have, there's certain things that you may be struggling with. So click on here, there's key to terms. There are, so when you click in on here, if many of you struggle with what the rostrum is, what a diastema is. So if you click on that, then you have an explanation to each of the terms. So make use of that. So then your activities are going to be, you've got the lecture quiz that goes over the questions in the lecture. And then you've got the question set that asks you to identify the unknowns, and then you have the handout questions and quiz, where you put in all the information about the unknowns. And then last but not least, you can make a dichotomous key on any item of your choice, whatever you want to use. And I show you what to do here, how to create the key with the numbers 1 through 10. You can do it on anything you want to. We've had some very creative things happening, but don't use plants or animals, right? Use whatever you want except not plants or animals. And that's it. Like I said, take your time with this. It's going to take a little while, and make sure you utilize the resources I give you. Because I promise you, it's not as difficult as it looks. When you first get started, you'll feel really, really lost, but I promise you it's not as difficult as it looks.